Yep, if you have eaten fish, it might already be too late.
For the last 70 days straight, China has been experiencing the most extreme...
Here is the founder of Flock Safety describing how he feels.
So you want some fried ice cream? That's the way to do it.
What's up, YouTube? This is Around the Web, where we watch strange and mysterious videos from all over the web that'll definitely keep you up at night and probably shatter your reality. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, join the family, and maybe we can get to the bottom of some of these crazy rabbit holes. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers, guys. You guys are helping grow the channel so much faster than I ever would have imagined. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's keep it going. So enough with the chit chat. Let's get straight to business. This is Around the Web, episode 8. Let's go.
2 months ago, we had 100, I told this story yesterday, we had 111 missiles shot by the Islamic Republic of Japan. They were shot at the aircraft carrier over a period of about 1 hour. 111 missiles going to a very expensive ship.
For one, I didn't know there was an entire Islamic Republic inside of Japan. And two, are we about to go to war with Japan again? And when did Japan get involved?
If you didn't know, we have some crazy things happening in the world again. 4 people have been charged for a fake store in California that had a hidden entrance to a massive smuggling tunnel to Mexico.
How did you have a massive tunnel under a store unless it was close to the border? Because that means they're digging out miles of tunnel. Best believe if smugglers are doing it, the elites have been doing it.
A new study is coming out and saying that just 10 minutes of using AI chatbots impairs your ability to problem solve without it because you just don't want to as much. There's a new high school that's apparently launching that's charging $150,000 a year, but they promise that if you don't make $1 million by graduation, that you'll get it all back. Elon Musk said that Neuralink will let users download an NBA player's jump shot into muscle memory by 2028. A Ugandan general came out and said, if I see a pothole after we have paid for construction of a road, that contractor will pay with his head. Hackers tricked Meta AI support chatbot to steal celebrity Instagram accounts.
Which one of those is the craziest to you? Because for me, the Neuralink download is by far the craziest.
The evil people in Hollywood. So in America anyway, that was the main fight. The actors, you know, are kind of a little whorish, and they'll do whatever, you know, to get a good role or something, so they don't hold you responsible somehow. They really look to the director in the studio.
Look, guys, no introduction needed. We know who that is. We've seen his face. He's been in some of the biggest films. And look what he's just said about the industry. You think he's joking when he's saying things like that? Don't ever forget that they have to tell you these things because they believe in karmic retribution, so they've got to put it in your face. And anyway, they can put it in your face because it's not like anyone believes it anyway. Everyone's still going to go to the movies, everyone's still going to stream these films, everyone's still going to give these people attention. That's how it's always been. Bread in the circus, the oldest trick in the book.
Celebrities will do anything for a role. It's disgusting.
Take my advice, 2027 is the wrong year to buy a new car. I keep telling y'all, AI is taking over, and they just found a new way to watch everything that you do in your car. I told you before, in 2027, every new car that is made is required to have mandatory federal surveillance technology. You heard what I just said? Everything that you do in your car will be watched. They're documenting how you drive. They're documenting who you have in your car. And they're listening to everything that's going on in your car. Oh, you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. This is a new Infinity.
Driver monitor camera, those 2 red eyes.
Look.
Yep, they're tracking my eyes. But if that wasn't enough for you, there's another camera here watching, and then there's another one.
Look at
on
that.
Top. They can see everything that you and all of your passengers do.
You know what that means, right? If you are driving too fast, AI will alert the police and let them know. If you are using your handheld device, conversating on your handheld device, AI will detect it, and AI will alert the authorities. And if that same AI thinks that you're a danger, detects if you're not sober by the slightest bit, that vehicle that you're in will automatically turn off. That technology will be constantly monitoring everything that you do. As you've seen in the video, that's through AI cameras.
We already got flock cameras on the way, and now we're not going to be able to drive. I know they're trying to do it for good, but I think that's just a little too far. What do you think? Also, are you buying a new car anytime soon? Because if so, be prepared for no privacy.
Yep, temperatures just hit 183 degrees in China, and it's so hot that the water from the canals are evaporating. The ground is as hot as the temperature you cook meat at, and it's still going to get worse. People were terrified after Chinese authorities issued emergency warnings across the region as the ground was melting shoes and leaving severe burns on skin. And at this temperature, your organs start to shut down one by one, starting with your kidneys. And this same heat is now spreading across the country with no signs of stopping. Haunting reports show that at this temperature, your brain begins to swell inside your skull. Workers who've been outside are found paralyzed in their seat, unable to move, and people are collapsing on the street and not waking up the next morning. But it gets worse as it's not just in China. The same heat is now in Europe, where over 5,000 people have not made it, 160 million Americans are under heat alert, and the spread is showing no signs of slowing down either.
Lakes and rivers have dried up, crops have been killed, factories have been closed, and this heatwave is still raging on. For perspective, this is the lake bed of China's largest freshwater source. 66 other rivers have dried up completely.
First it was Europe, now it's China under a heat wave. Who's next? They said the temperature hit 183 in China. Hearts and prayers to China that they stay cool and stay hydrated and things get better for them.
It seems very low level compared to the Epstein stuff.
Well, the thing about Clive Davis and why I'm suspicious of Clive Davis is how do you commit that many felonies and not spend a day in jail?
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
And then he gets busted committing felonies, and then he gets like the next great record executive job. And then he gets busted doing something else, and then he gets the next great record executive job. So I think that the only way that you can commit those kind of felonies and not spend a night in jail is if you've got something worked out.
Honestly, I feel like there were a lot of other people benefiting from this. That's the only reason he's probably still out.
When a bag of chips was $3, it was not an issue. But $6? Well, that's a real source of savings. So there was genuine shock on this miss. Now, I've been lucky enough to be a rich guy for a long time. Look, I play with an open hand here, okay? I'm not going to pretend. But I remember what it was like to be poor. And I can tell you it isn't the absolute price of potato chips that has people upset. It's the endless increases in price and the compounding of those price increases over the years that make tens of millions of people sick to their stomachs. I say rip the Band-Aid off. Go back to prices from 10 years ago before the endless increases and get realistic. You raise prices too much, too often for a country that's now weight obsessed, health obsessed, and GOP-1 obsessed, and you're just not going to make as much money for a bag as you'd like to.
You know what's the problem when the rich people are feeling bad for the poor people and talking about prices increases, because clearly it doesn't hurt his pocket, but he knows how much strain and stress it puts on us. Are we ever going to hit the ceiling on these prices, or is it just going to keep on going to the moon?
Yep, if you have eaten fish, it might already be too late, as there is an infection spreading within the fish, and what's coming out of animals right now is already growing inside millions of us. People were terrified after footage shows bears dragging a stringy-like infection up to 30 feet long coming out of them, with a man who ate salmon pulling over 5 feet of the same parasite out of his own body, and it has now been confirmed inside over 20 million people. Haunting reports show the parasite latches onto the wall of your intestine the moment it enters, absorbs 80% of your vitamin B12, and grows longer every single day without you ever feeling it until it comes out, and in severe cases it leads to your heart giving out. But it gets worse. The CDC knows about this, and yet the way the fish is still being shipped does not get rid of the parasite, serving it with the infection without ever telling you what's living inside of it.
A recent study found a 283-fold increase in a type of parasitic worm that you find in fish. Eating these worms can give you nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea.
So if you are going to eat salmon, make sure your fish has been frozen properly before it ever reaches your plate, and if you can, avoid eating it raw entirely.
Are you guys still eating salmon raw after watching this? Because I might cut salmon out of the diet altogether. Nobody wants a parasite tail hanging out the backside. No, I don't want a 30-foot parasite hanging out my backside.
What do you think happens when we die?
I do think that there's serious data for reincarnation. The soul is basically the ultimate hard drive. It contains all the possible experiential pathways, but it wipes everything that was already done before clean and only keeps the super novel experiences that never happened before. And then it proceeds to the next life, to the next simulation, and it does it again and again. And eventually all of these hard drives arrive back at the source, and they inform the source about what it's like to have every possible experience. It kind of goes to the heart of why I saw these simulations happen, which essentially is it's the attempt to answer the ultimate questions, like why actually. In Christian circles, this is a little blasphemous because it's like, what are you saying? God doesn't know? Because God is perfect and God knows everything. Okay, I understand, but let's pretend he doesn't. Let's pretend that there's one thing that God doesn't know, which is why. And what I saw is that basically it's the answer collecting itself. If you're this infinite being that can do anything, if there's one thing you don't know, let's say, which is like why you're there, so you would create a process by which the answer is kind of collecting itself. Then what happens at the end of all this process unfolding is that when the answer fully collects itself and there's this black box with the answer in it, then the choice of whether you open that box or not is the ultimate choice.
I did research and I was like, plastic is made of petroleum. And then I found this chart that showed the energy bonds of plastic versus gasoline versus diesel. And then it turned out plastic has more energy in it than the fuel that we have in this world. Pyrolysis is a process that existed since the beginning of Earth. When you have something heated without air and oxygen, it doesn't catch on fire. It actually breaks down into oil. And so this is what Earth does to make crude oil to begin with. A whole bunch of organic matter gets buried under the surface. There's no oxygen down there. We know it's hot down there, and it breaks down into oil. That's why we have oil and gas pockets under the earth.
Protect this man at all costs. The last thing we need is to find him unalive somewhere because he's trying to enlighten the masses.
I did not deserve to go through what I went through. I did not deserve to be raped. I don't care what happens to me anymore, folks. Now that I know what they did, I don't care. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they say about me. This has got to stop. We need this thing to end. We need these people to stop succeeding in what they're doing, and we need their overlords to stop gaining the louche energy, torture, the ceremonies that they make people go through, and the horrible things that they make people do. The people who are in these organizations, for the most part, do not want this. They do not want to be doing these things, folks. They do not want to participate in these ceremonies, and there would be a mass exodus, according to Savali. There would be a mass exodus if they felt they could leave and not be tortured. And so, believe me, there's a lot of people who you might think are really sad about the loss of this, and they're not sad at all. What a relief it will be to not have to go through ceremonies anymore. What a relief it will be to not be abused by your higher-ups.
David Wilcock has passed away. David, who built a platform through his videos about science and spirituality, died on April 20th in Boulder County, Colorado.
Clearly he knew something, and I don't know if he was able to really tell us what it was.
Dude, we're probably, if it doesn't stop and some major shit doesn't happen and Trump doesn't have any fucking aces up his sleeve to break free of this shit, we're not far off from civil disobedience. Not even uncivil disobedience. Yeah. Real talk. Yeah. Not against the government either. It's against all these people that are here.
That's right.
I don't know about that. What are we going to do to the people here that we shouldn't do to the government? I think we need to direct our energy toward the government and the people in office that are making these rules and that are letting these invasions happen. Oh! Child abuse is not okay in any sense of the word. Why was he hitting those kids so hard? What a complete waste of good apples, right? Are you letting the sensei karate chop apples on your kid's head? I don't know about this one, guys.
What if Google Earth accidentally captured something hidden deep inside the Brazilian forest? At first I thought it was nothing, just another endless stretch of trees. But while exploring the area west of Itaparuçu in Paraná, Brazil, something unusual caught my attention. Two strange objects buried in the middle of the dense forest. One of them was perfectly circular. The other had a distinct triangular shape. Both stood out against the endless green canopy around them. No visible roads, no nearby buildings, No obvious explanation. Why would geometric shapes appear in such a remote location? Were they abandoned structures? A forgotten campsite? Some kind of hidden installation? Or is there another explanation that Google Earth wasn't supposed to reveal? The deeper I zoomed in, the stranger it felt. Two mysterious objects, isolated in the heart of the Brazilian wilderness. So tell me, what do you think these really are?
It's either some top secret technology that Google happened to catch or a plane dropping off a parachuter. I don't know, but it's still super interesting. And Google has these all over.
In SpaceX and quietly just do whatever we want.
Elon has admitted he's an alien about 1,000 times now and that humanity is actually from outer space.
I'm an alien.
And the world refuses to believe
There are aliens among us. I am one. But or you're from the future. They don't believe me.
What do you believe?
You
do very well, even if I was kidnapped by aliens. or went back to my home planet, maybe.
I think Elon knows a lot more than what people think. And if he's been saying he's an alien for this long, maybe we should take his word for it.
Oh yeah. This one, it's actually legit. Never spray perfume on your neck, especially not right over your thyroid. Most perfumes are full of phthalates and synthetic fragrances, which are known as endocrine disruptors. And the neck has really thin skin right over the thyroid gland. Now, perfumes here can absorb super fast straight into the bloodstream and start interfering with your hormonal system. We're talking about your metabolism, mood, and fertility. All of it. And don't think spraying your wrist is safer. Anywhere where you can do a pulse, it's gonna have thin skin and it's gonna absorb very fast. If you're struggling with fatigue, irregular cycles, or hormones, this daily habit might be part of your problem.
Food's killing us, our cell phones are killing us, our clothes are killing us. We can't eat a salad unless we get explosive diarrhea. Women's makeup's killing them, and now we can't even spray cologne or perfume on us because it's killing us. What is next, and when are we gonna get a break?
This is the prison of the future where criminals would serve their entire sentence in less than 2 minutes. It's called Cognify, and it's meant to revolutionize the criminal justice system by using a device to synthetically implant AI-generated memories into the prisoner's brain. You see, the current prison system has a major problem. Many studies have shown that chucking a criminal into a cell does not reduce the likelihood of that person reoffending. So realistically, the only way that we're currently reducing crime is by keeping these people off the streets. Problem is, taxpayers are paying up to $3 million for just one prisoner's life sentence. That's why scientist Hashim Al-Ghaili came up with Cognify, because one day prisoners could choose to fast-track their rehabilitation. Firstly, the implant would target specific parts of the brain responsible for reasoning, memory, and logical thinking. The intensity and type of memories can then be adjusted depending on the crime. For example, violent offenders could relive their crime from their victim's perspective, feeling all of the pain, suffering, and trauma as if it was real and it was done to them. They could also experience certain memories designed to trigger empathy, remorse, and regret, which is a crucial part of rehabilitation. Inside the criminal's mind, time would also pass differently. 60 seconds in the real world could feel like 20 years for them. Hashim argues that by replacing long prison sentences with brief, intensive rehabilitation with Cognify, not only would you avoid the high cost of housing millions of inmates, but by actually rehabilitating offenders effectively, they could be reintegrated back into society sooner and contribute to the workforce. So the question is, do you think that this is a good idea?
Does it feel like we're in a Cognify prison already sometimes? Would this really help or hurt people? Because if you know that you can get a prison sentence done in realistically a couple days, who's to stop you from robbing a bank because you know that you can do a quick prison sentence and be back on the streets in a day? How do you think the victims' families are going to feel after this, knowing that perpetrators are getting out of jail within days of committing heinous acts? Are you guys with this? NASA exploring asteroid with 10 bajillion worth of metals on it. What in the was that number? Quintillion, it said. Elon might be onto something, mining in space. That may be the future.
You know, your body as a corporation, by law, your body, your physical body is a corporation. So when you die, you're a corpse, because when you're living, you're a corporation. You are a business. and hanging out with that person is bad business.
Right.
Or who I hang out with is none of your business. Words and terms are based on maritime admiralty, the law of water. That's why when you go into a court, you have a gate, the people sit out here, and the judge sits inside. The gate is called a floodgate. When you go through the canal, you have a floodgate. So when you're sitting out here, you're in the law of the land. The judge has no control or no jurisdiction over the people sitting out here. No jurisdiction whatsoever.
They're outside the gate.
That's outside the gate. That's on land. But when you walk past that gate, now you're in hot water, and someone's going to have to bail you out. The law of water, maritime admiralty, it's an extraordinary story about how governments rule the world. And unless you understand this, you're never going to figure out what's going on. When you walk into a courtroom and they call your name, you get
I'm sure you've been asked the question, if you're able to go back in time, who would you meet? The person I would meet would be Jordan Maxwell. The things he says and the things he talks about, I highly recommend you guys check him out. Go down the Jordan Maxwell rabbit hole, because a lot of it is true. Seriously. So I know that fight was pretty crappy, but that's two robots fighting each other. Yeah, there's a human controller, but that is pretty impressive. Imagine in the next 5-10 years what the capabilities of this. We're not going to be watching sports with humans. We're going to be watching sports with robots. Everything's going to change. It's coming soon. Are you ready for it? Is the question.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Nobody touched you, LeBron. Are you kidding me? This is more proof that this is scripted. Watch this. What in the world is LeBron doing? Nobody touched him. Now, I'm not sure if he's trying to get a foul shot in or something, but this dude is flying all over the court and nobody is touching him. I'm telling you, this is why I'd rather go to a random park and watch grown-ups play basketball, because it's more real. This is scripted. Look at this guy. Look at this. Always falling like he's tripping over an invisible foot. This is ridiculous. LeBron. Did you really think that people wouldn't watch these replays and see that you're clearly following the script? LeBron don't care. LeBron doesn't care because he gets...
When are people going to realize that a lot of these sports that they're watching are completely scripted? Case in point. Cars are swept away by floodwaters in northern China as Typhoon Bobby strikes the mainland. Wow. Hearts and prayers go out to China. They're getting hit with heat and typhoons. Mother Nature strikes again.
He's been standing for 12 years straight and has no plans to stop in hopes of seeing his God. But he's not even the most extreme case of penance. Dalal is part of an order known as the Standing Babas, and some of these men have been standing for over 30 years straight. Dalal's legs have swollen so badly he has a team of volunteers that treat his open sores so he can continue standing, which he plans to do until he sees Lord Shiva. Amar Barati took it even further by raising his right arm and never lowered it, which actually atrophied in place and has been stuck in the air for over 50 years. His dedication inspired a following of other arm raisers, some of which have kept their arms raised for 7, 13, and 25 years.
Imagine sleeping standing up or sleeping leaving your arm up. This is true dedication to their creator. Are you willing to stand for the rest of your life or to hold your arm up for the rest of your life? But the guy holding his arm up, definitely a teacher's worst nightmare.
I know a lot of people who run countries because that's my job, is to interview people, and a lot of people with power. I'm not one of them, but I've been around them a lot, and they're, to a man, to a person, religious people. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. And almost every single one, with very few exceptions, poses as a secular person. They are observant religious people. Now, they are not serving the Christian God. None of them that I've ever met. But they are serving gods. They think in terms of supernatural power. They all believe correctly, in my opinion, that they are being being guided by and strengthened by, given authority by supernatural powers. And they appease those powers, not accusing them of what we'd call witchcraft, but it is in fact witchcraft, is what it really is. They're all participating in it, and we can call that, they're superstitious. There's no such thing as superstitious religious faith. Now, it could be faith in demons, which it typically is, but it doesn't make it any less religious.
I think there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. They might all be religious, but what religion are these top elites practicing? Because you have to be practicing some kind of witchcraft or something to be able to make some of the decisions that these elites are making, because they put nobody's health and well-being. There, because I don't know if I can stomach it. The smell alone would have me dead.
The prosecution is going to lose this Charlie Kirk case, and then the truth is going to come out. Because from what I see, they just let the judge know that they ain't got no evidence on Tyler Robinson. No actual footage of Tyler Robinson. And the judge don't look like he believed nothing they saying. Look at this shit.
Is there any footage of the alleged shooting? There is not, Judge.
Listen.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that. I'd like to be crystal clear. You asked if there's any portion of this video that captures, and I believe you asked of the actual shooting. There's no video of that.
No video.
There is video, however, and you've heard testimony related to this, where the shooter goes to the top of the low-C building, goes out to the edge of the building, low crawls, and then leaves.
And you tell me how that sounds to you. They also had an officer on the stand that said his body cam battery died. And that's why he ain't have no footage of what he found on the roof. Oh, you don't believe that either, right? Look at this shit.
Your
this is
body
from day
cam
one.
footage that I reviewed appears to end
That boy getting off.
while you're still on the roof. Do you know why that is?
I think the battery went dead. It was just right at that moment.
Okay. And do you know, did you ever turn it back on that day or go get it, I don't know, what do you have to do, charge it or stick a new battery in it? I don't even know.
Usually dock it, but no, I didn't go back. It was too chaotic.
Oh yeah.
Running around.
Really?
So
It's starting to seem like Candace Owens might have been onto something. Put some respect on her name.
Not gonna believe me on this one. This is what happened. I accidentally threw a piece of this out with me and my grandson, right? So this is what I'm gonna do. Nestle, sandwiches, vanilla. I got them at the dollar store. Hold on, I'm gonna open this.
I didn't know they sell those at the dollar store. That's your problem right there.
I just opened it, okay?
Red flag number one.
Now, watch this. My grill is at, what is that, 200, almost 250, 240, whatever it is, okay? I ain't done yet. Let it get hot. Let it get a little hot. Now remember, the ice cream, I just took it out. Here's the ice cream. Put it on the grill. I'm gonna grill some ice cream right now. This stuff is not melting at all. It's cooking. This is ice cream I gave my grandson. If I did not throw part of this away, and 2 days later I come out and it's still there and the ants were eating it, look at this. It's not even melting. And again, hold on, let me close it. It's on the grill. The grill is lit. Y'all can see the fire.
One eternity later.
It's hot outside. There we go. Look,
Disgusting, guys.
it's burning. That's about it.
That's going into our stomach.
So you want some fried ice cream? That's the way to do it right there. I cannot believe it's not melting. It's just cooking. What is our government giving? Letting us eat? Like, I can't believe this stuff.
Imagine what that does to our stomach. Those sandwiches used to melt in your hand if you didn't eat them fast enough. We can show the ice cream that doesn't melt and all the other products that are horrible for us, but what are we going to do about it?
It looks like people are sick and tired of being surveilled in their own hometowns 24/7 because flock security cameras all over the United States are now being destroyed. And if you don't know what a flock security camera is, then you probably will hear about it soon. But these are AI-powered cameras already implemented in 49 states with about 90,000 of these already installed. And you can see just looking at this how fast it's growing. So what it does is that every single car that passes by, it takes a time-stamped photo of the license plate and every detail of the car as well, such as the stickers, the decals, and the damage that's been done to the car. And the primary goal of this is to track the car. The company will then contract with hospitals, the police, the city, schools, HOAs, businesses, hospitals to investigate and to stop crimes. But this is making people extremely uneasy because they're being surveilled 24/7.
Could potentially overtake us here. This is getting a little scary.
Yeah.
Holy
Okay, yeah, this is...
Okay, y'all need to hurry up here. Like, seriously, we're in case...
Oh my gosh.
No.
Hello, Jody, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you there. I'm telling them you were notching up.
Yeah, this has got to move quick here.
Wow.
Holy crap. Oh, that's alright. This kind of burnt off, so we'll be okay now.
Yeah, it went across the whole...
Yeah. Look over there.
Wow.
We are
You guys got a light now, or what?
For as serious as that is, he's using his indoor voice for outdoor problems.
Here is the founder of Flock Safety describing how he feels about anyone who disagrees with his project.
Terroristic organizations like DFLOC. Primary motivation is chaos. They are closer to Antifa than they are anything else.
It'd be interesting to know where the douchebag factory is that turns out billionaires in t-shirts who run our most powerful companies. Who is that guy? He's a billionaire. Where'd the money come from? Oh, from state and local governments. It's tax dollars. He just described a group called DFLOC as a, quote, terroristic organization. DFLOC is a group that tells you where the flock cameras are. They have a map. They're not for flock cameras or any license plate readers. They think they're an invasion of your privacy. They're dehumanizing. All true, by the way. But what they really do is keep track of where the monitors are. And so providing that information is terrorism, really? So think about what t-shirt douchebag guy is saying. He's saying, we get to know everything about you, but if you want to know anything about their company, you're a
Tucker strikes again. I got a little dilemma. Are these flock cameras for the good of people or for the bad of people? Are these flock cameras going to keep us safe? Because on one hand, they are providing a way for people that commit crimes like murders and things like that to be found and caught quickly. On the flip side, we will have no privacy. Do you value your privacy or do you value your safety? Let me know in the comments because it is a toss-up. This flock camera situation is bonkers.
Excuse me? Can you take a picture of me with my pasta?
Yeah, sure. Where's the pasta?
Exactly. Could you check on it?
Alright YouTube, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed episode 8 as much as I did. If you made it to the end, give yourself a pat on the back because you're a real one, and that helps me more than you guys will know. And hopefully this video got you really questioning whether you want flock cameras or whether you don't want flock cameras, because that's a big issue. And what are we going to do about this AI situation? They're getting more advanced by the day. The digital age is here. So if you want to see more videos like this, one thing you need to do right now is hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I got more content on the way. I've been putting videos out regularly, so you're always going to have something to chill to. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you next time for episode 9. It's crazy. Episode 9, guys. We are getting to it. Like always, stay curious and question everything. This is Around the Web. Peace.